Boubacar, whose name has been changed to protect his identity, says last year unidentified gunmen came to his home at night, shot and wounded his wife and son, then killed his brother. The next day, on doctor's orders, he travelled to the capital Ouagadougou for medical treatment to save his son's injured hand from amputation. While he was away, he says Burkinabe security forces kidnapped two of his brothers.
Of course, we cannot say that those who knocked on the door that night were from the military, but neighbors told me those who took my brother away were. From that day until today, we have not heard from them. Are they alive or were they killed? Nobody knows.
Abuses by security forces in the Sahel conflict, where Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger battle terror groups linked to Islamic State and Al-Qaeda, were extremely common. Last year, the number of civilian fatalities caused by security forces was approaching those caused by terror groups. Data from the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, ACLED, shows the number of civilian fatalities caused by security forces have fallen dramatically in the last year to October 1st compared to the previous year. They've dropped by 77% in Burkina Faso, 74% in Mali, and 65% in Niger. Rights groups say they've also observed the change and suggest why it might have occurred.
We believe that there's a combination of factors. The first has been reporting by human rights groups, by journalists, as well as pressure from the international community.
Analysts say there could be other factors at play, including the outsourcing of military activities to government-backed militants, among other things.
Over this period, the security situation in the Sahel has continued to get worse. And so I think one other possible explanation is that regional security forces are doing somewhat less patrolling, essentially doing somewhat less, doing somewhat fewer operations where they're actually interacting with populations in rural areas, especially.
The Burkinabe army says accusations of abuse by security forces have not been proven. In a statement to VOA, it said respect for human rights is a major concern for the National Armed Forces and is part of the basic education for soldiers. But the consequences of the atrocities are not going away.
Bad news is there have not been investigations, much less justice and accountability.
Boubacar says trying to seek justice from the same authorities he believes committed crimes would be pointless.
I cannot see how there will be a positive outcome, even if we went to court, so we'll let it be.
But he still wants to know what happened to his two brothers. Henry Wilkins for VOA News, Ouagadougou.